March 14th, 2012. 2 blind baby bobcats. By now, you have probably heard about the 2 blind baby bobcats at the sanctuary. If not, Rufus came into the Carolina Wildlife Rescue in a coma with a broken jaw. Jamie has helped them with bobcat rehab before, so they originally contacted us for advice in December of 2011. By February 14th of 2012, it was clear that Rufus had become too imprinted for release, and his eyesight had still not recovered. Through a big Valentine's Day effort, we were able to secure his release from South Carolina and his import into Florida through both wildlife agencies. Then, on March 5th, 2012, we got a call from the Florida Wildlife Commission reporting a blind bobcat at a mine in Center Hill, Florida. What was interesting is, and there's no connection, but this mine was right across the street from what used to be Savage Kingdom. You can read all about her rescue here, and it gives a URL that's no longer valid because we changed our website since then. But you can find her by looking up Tommy Girl. If she regains her sight, we would love to be able to return her to her rightful place in the wild, and the mine manager has agreed to let her come back to what he refers to as his wildlife sanctuary. The mine is many, many acres of natural bobcat habitat and is truly a sanctuary to many wild animals. If she does not regain her sight, or if the intensive care she needs during this interim makes her too dependent for release, then she will hopefully be a playmate for Rufus. We have had other cats who were blind, such as Will the bobcat. Like Rufus, his eyes are just fine and quite beautiful, but what they see does not register in their brains. If you've ever fed Will or watched him for any length of time, it is apparent that he does not process the information coming in through his senses like a normal cat. He and Anasazi provide comfort to each other and have been great companions. If you have been here a long time, you may remember. All right, apparently it's raining and everybody's bored to death. If you have been here a long time, you may remember Axel the tiger, who grew deaf and blind as he aged. His keepers would stomp the ground near his lockout at feeding time to wake him and let him know that dinner was served. Others will recall that Czar and Nikita, the bobcats and lynx hybrid, who grew old together here. As Czar aged, he too became deaf and blind. Nikita made a permanent impression on all of our hearts as she would lean up against him, shoulder to shoulder, and lead him into his lockout at feeding time. There is probably no cat more self-reliant, opportunistic, or fierce than the bobcat, and yet the compassion shown by cats like Anasazi and Nikita are a great example for us. We have enemies, but they are all outside our gates. Nothing makes us more proud than to see our staff, volunteers, and interns working together for a common cause. We have made it through the worst of times for big cats and are poised to end the suffering once and for all by passing the Big Cats and Public Safety Protection Act. If you haven't signed your name to this most important bill yet, please do so at bigcatact.com. And that URL does still work.